Hey, let's make a token with transfer fees on Solana. If you just want to make a token and you don't care about the code or how it's done, you can use FluxBeam. They've got a really handy UI that walks you through everything. All you gotta do is put in your stuff. Let's make something really cheesy. Cool. You hit transfer tax and you're good to go. Few things you might want to configure. The supply, obviously you want to change this to whatever you want. I'm going to go with 10 million. The decimals, I recommend changing this to about 9. That's the same number of decimals as the SOL token, so you won't get confused. The transfer fee, you can set it to whatever you want. I'm going to go with 1%. The important bits here are the max fee and the withdraw and config authorities. So the max fee is the maximum amount of tax that's collected on any transfer. I've got 10 million tokens. And I've got a 1% fee. So if I transfer 1 million tokens, that's going to be 10,000 tokens taxed. That might be too much for you, might be too less, maybe you don't care. Whatever it is, make sure you have, you're aware of what you want to have here. The withdraw authority is the account that can withdraw taxes that are collected. So whenever you transfer tokens, they're going to be taxed. Those are going to be kept in the token accounts. They're going to be withheld. The FluxBeam UI doesn't let you withdraw it right now. Maybe they'll add that later. I've got a script that goes over how to do that. I'll show you that. But the important bit here is you want to make sure you've got either the seed phrase or the private key for the wallet address in here. Because if you don't have those, you cannot withdraw the tax. So make sure you've got those. Config authority, this is just the wallet that is able to configure the extension, so you can change the fee amount or the maximum fee later on. And that's really it. You're done. You hit create and you're good to go. I've also got a transfer fee demo. This is a JavaScript repo that shows you how to do this with code. So let's take a look at that. These scripts do the exact same thing the FluxBeam UI does. It lets you create a token with the transfer tax extension. You can configure a bunch of this stuff, but you can't set the metadata yet. That's not included in here right now. I'm going to add that later. Don't worry about it. This is mainly just to understand what the code is doing and how it works. There's 3 scripts in here: the create token script, the mint and transfer script, and the withdraw token script. You can run these independently, but the first time you run them, they're going to be running on the devnet and they're going to assume you have some env variables set. So when the first time you run them, I recommend you run create token first, mint and transfer second, and withdraw tokens last. As I mentioned, these will run on the devnet and they will create a .env file that will have all the generated key pairs. What are the created key pairs? To send transactions, you need to have a certain amount of SOL in there. Since we're doing this on the devnet, what I've done is I've set up the script to create a pair key pair, have it funded, and then subsequently every single key pair that we need, I'm just generating those key pairs instead of asking you to put in the wallet addresses. I'm doing this so it's easy to understand, it's easy to go through these, and they still allow you to replace the addresses later on. I've got a replacement and maintenance section here. These are values that you likely want to change because you don't want to be having generated addresses control these. You want addresses of your own to control these. I've got code in here as well that shows you how you can load these key pairs. So I've got that covered as well. Before we jump into each of these scripts, I highly recommend you check out the pseudocode section. So for each of these scripts, I've got a pseudocode section that goes over what the script is actually doing. So take a look at the pseudocode section first to get a high-level overview of what's happening in each of the scripts. Then you can look at the actual code and see what's going on. All right, let's try to run these. So I'm going to do node create token.js. There we go. It successfully worked. Sometimes it doesn't work because we're requesting an airdrop and there are limits on how often you can request an airdrop. So what this script has just done is it's generated a pair key pair. It's funded the account on the devnet. It's created a mint authority, a mint address, a mint rather, and it's got all of our tokens in here. So if you go to .env, you'll see all of the relevant key pairs, and our token actually exists. If I click this link, there you go. It created a token with the transfer fee extension. Cool. Now we've got our token. We can go ahead and mint and transfer them. So we only created the token. We haven't minted any of them yet. So let's just do that next. There you go. Tokens minted and transferred. Let's look at this. And there we go. We minted how many tokens? 10 tokens. No, it hasn't. Cool. We minted 10 tokens to another address. And the address for this, the recipient key pair, as well has been added to the env. So now we've got a bunch of tokens minted and sent to this key pair. Let's do that one more time. Mint and transfer again. So what this is going to do is it's going to mint 10 more tokens and it's going to transfer them as well. So what we're doing here is I'm trying to collect a bunch of tax. I probably need to get rid of this. That. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting a bunch of accounts with tax so that when we run the withdraw tokens, there is a few accounts we can collect from. The important thing you need to know here is we're using the same pair for every single script. So in mint and transfer, as well as withdraw tokens, the same account is paying for the transactions. This way we don't have to have multiple accounts have Sol. So you don't need to request airdrops over and over again because that would not work because you would get rate limited really fast. One last time. So this is going to be 30 tokens and 3 accounts to collect tax from. So every single time you make a transfer, the account that's receiving the tokens is also the account that has the taxed tokens withheld. One of the really cool things about the withdraw tokens is it tells you exactly how many accounts it's going to withdraw from. So if we run the script, you can ignore this thing successfully. Let's go. 4 accounts found and bag secured. Let's see. We just withdrew a bunch of tax. Look at this. So a bunch of these token accounts, and this is the recipient account. We're just getting our tax collected. You probably care about the withdraw token script because you want to use it to withdraw the tax of your own token that you've deployed. To do this, you're going to need to replace a few different key pairs. Number one, the pair key pair, the mint key pair, the withdraw held authority key pair, and the recipient key pair. These 3 right here, the pair, the withdraw with held authority, and the recipient might be the same ones for you, as long as it has enough SOL to pay for the transaction fees. That's the pair's responsibility, and it's the actual key pair that's that you configure to be the withdraw with held authority. You're fine. Again, recipient, if you're okay receiving tokens, the tax tokens there, you're cool. So this can all be the same key pair. That's fine. The min one, it has to be, again, the exact same key pair that you configured when you deployed your token. If you actually deploy your token with the script, all of these will be in here. And don't try stealing these, by the way. These are all tested, they're empty. So no free money for you. Cool. That's it. So replace these key pairs and run the script and you're good to go. Everything else is probably answered by the README. If it isn't, flick me a message. I'm happy to see what I can do to help you out. See ya.